ladies and gentlemen, by the time you're seeing this, this is going to likely go up on Saturday. I am crossing my fingers that this does not entirely screw up everything that I put into this channel so far. The algorithm on most social media is not super friendly when you don't keep a semi-consistent schedule. So I'm hoping that putting a video up on Saturday doesn't ruin any reach that I've had. And on top of that, most people don't really care about Xur by the time Saturday rolls around. So, you know, there's also that. But I want to apologize. The long and short is that obviously this channel is still very small. I'm still very thankful for any reach and growth that I have. It still makes me very happy, and I'm still going to keep pursuing it, but it is nowhere near big enough that this is my job yet. So I do work, and I do construction, and it's inconsistent, and my hours are all over the place, and it's just kind of I work when I have work and I don't when I don't. And over the last few days I started a job for the first time in a hot minute, and it's very physically demanding work at this specific one. I was going into it thinking I would be doing a different type of job, and wound up getting roped into doing what I'm doing, which is a bunch of demolition, which is fine. I've done it a bunch throughout my whole life, but I just was not prepared for it to be what it is, and it's very taxing. I worked today, and I got off early today. I was actually going to make a post yesterday about how the video might not come at all today, or it might be late, and then I realized, like, oh, we were only doing a half day today. I was excited. I came home and I was like, all right, I'm gonna eat something and take a nap, then get up and make the Xur video. And my alarm went off, and I got up and, you know, made some coffee, sat down in my chair, gave my cat some food, and I kid you not, I opened my recording software, I opened Destiny, and I opened my browser. And before Destiny loaded, I fell asleep in my chair, and I woke up like a half hour later, and I was like, well, that's not too bad. I can still make a video. And then so I selected my character and opened up Dim, and then I fell asleep again, and I woke up like another hour later. Like, and this was the process until like 5 or 6 this afternoon, and I was just like, screw it, whatever. Nobody's gonna care by this point. I've already missed it. Oh well. But I've missed a handful of videos, and had a handful of videos be delayed lately, and I don't want to keep doing that. I understand most of the time it's not necessarily my fault, it's just life being hectic, or emergencies, or bad schedules, or just my computer not functioning as how it should. So, you know, I'm trying not to beat myself up about it. That being said, I'm sitting here, it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning on Friday, and I'm gonna go ahead, make this, and then edit it, upload it, schedule it for tomorrow, probably around 12 or so, I'd say, and hope that a few people see it, and hope that it doesn't completely destroy the algorithm being nice to me so far. And yeah, we'll see. But hi, if this is your first video, sorry for the scuff. I am your Destiny Dad, and welcome to our not typical weekly review of Xur's inventory. Normally we do this on Friday about 1 or 2 o'clock if I can get it all done on time, but today we're doing it on Saturday because I had a lot of nonsense happen today. So let's see. Alrighty, this week Xur actually has some pretty banger stuff. I have looked at him. I actually haven't visited him yet today, even though I've played a decent chunk. Oh, thank you, sir. So this week we have, for our catalyst, we have Fighting Lion and Jotun. So for Fighting Lion, did they attached that to the catalyst? I thought that was intrinsic initially. If you don't know, Fighting Lion is a kinetic ammo single shot grenade launcher. It is phenomenal. It is so good. If you haven't used it, please use it. I know you probably see clips of it in PvP with, you know, there's the dude who uses, I think it's Fighting Lion and the pulse rifle that's reworked for this season. I think that's the guy that most people see, and he like skates around on Warlock with the dodge boots. and just spam fires Fighting Lion, and that's annoying to go against. His videos are cool, don't get me wrong, but to go against it is obnoxious. But for PvE, Fighting Lion is so good. It's not the strongest thing in the whole world, but when there are artifact mods that improve grenade launchers, or even when just the general, like if there's something like a big weapon buff, this season you can definitely make use of it with the fusion rifle buffs. But when you break something's shield, you gain bonus damage. It's not a huge bonus damage, but it's really nice. It's great. Plus it got reworked, so now it applies volatile, I believe, or maybe getting a kill will spread volatile. I don't know. Fighting Lion does so much. It's such a quirky exotic, and I love it. I adore Fighting Lion. But the Jotun, it gives you for the Jotun, it gives you Cornered, I believe this is the name of that perk, as well as Incandescent. This turned Jotun from a PvP only machine into a not really a monster, but a really strong tool in PvE. Problem is I don't think most people are going to use their exotic slot for this over something else. That being said, I think it also has turnabout. So if you're dealing something with like a battlegrounds maybe, and you got a bunch of ad clear and a bunch of solar shields, and you're rocking like maybe a warlock solar build, Dawn Chorus or something maybe, I don't know. This thing can definitely go hard in the right build. For our exotics hunter, we have the Stompies with a base stat of 67. We got a 17 mobility spike, a 16 recov spike, and a 16 strength spike. Why is my mouse keep trying to pull away from me? Maybe there's something falling on my cord. For Titans, we have a base 68 Actium War Rig. Nothing really crazy. The biggest spike is mobility, and it's not even really much of a spike, but it's got decent stat lines across the board, barring this mobility. For the Warlock, we have the Apotheosis Veil, very strong exotic for Warlocks. I believe a lot of people use it on Prismatic. I've seen some people use it on Solar and a handful of other things. It's definitely worth a pick. That being said, this one has a base stat of 61. Does have Recov, Discipline, and Intellect as its spikes, so it might be something kind of useful, but I think that you could probably do a decent bit better. And lastly, this week we have your exotic class items. As always, they will show up as the class you are on. Solipsism, Relativism, and Stoicism for Warlock, Hunter, and Titan, respectively. For our more strange offers this week, we have Vanguard Engrams. I know I probably look like a lunatic to most people, but I always pick those up because I'm always focusing stuff for trying to get my rolls. On top of that, we have your regular assortment of materials, Glimmer, Cores, and this week we have basketballs for our spicy one. I think it switches between basketballs and golf balls. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I feel like it switches back and forth. Moving on to our strange gear offers. This week we have Hawkmoon. Now this Hawkmoon is actually really solid. The grip is not the best because it does decrease your handling, and one of the big drawing points of Hawkmoon is that it's a snappy gun. That being said, it has decent handling, and I guarantee you losing 7 or 10 handling, whatever it is, I think it's 5 or 7. Losing 5 or 7 handling is not going to make Hawkmoon feel bad. I guarantee you that. But we have Hammer Forged, which is the second longest range reaching barrel. The only other one that can reach longer is Full Bore, I believe, and that will reduce your stability, which a lot of people don't like. Opening Shot as well is a fantastic perk in this column. I would say that Opening Shot or Eye of the Storm are probably the best of the bunch for this slot. And then this is not bad. The increase in stability does give you added flinch resistance at base. So even though you do lose some handling, I think overall this is a really solid roll. And if you don't have one that's better, I think you should definitely make a stop at Zur for this one. And if I remember correctly, the Catalyst also gives you plus 10 in range. I might just be making that up, but I feel like it also gives you a little bump there in your range. So it'll also make your range a little bit nicer. Up next, we have the Jade Rabbit. Fantastic exotic for PvP. It is a slow rate of fire scout rifle, which I know a lot of people don't care for, but this one specifically, no matter what the meta is, if you have a mid to long range map and you get comfortable with this gun, you can put in work. I've used this in trials, I've used this in comp, I've used this in sixes. Pair this with a shotgun or maybe a fusion rifle for good close range. If you're confident in your abilities, even run this and an SMG or sidearm, and you can really put in some work. Up next, we do have the Fighting Lion itself. So this week you can buy the Fighting Lion and you can buy its Catalyst both outright from Zur in one go for around about, what is it, 100 give or take? This is 23 and this is 71, so 94. 94 strange coins gets you the Fighting Lion and the Catalyst. Alright, so you can press and hold. Grenades will bounce when you release. They'll detonate. Fantastic. Then the Herd. Direct hits do increased damage to combatant shields and cause a volatile detonation. Dealing damage increases reload speed. Rapid final blows against grenade damage combatants will refill the magazine. So, breaking the shield with the Catalyst gives you bonus damage and handling and a whole bunch of other stat nonsense to your other weapons. This is especially strong if you have one of the, similar to the fusion rifle artifact mod we have this season. There's a grenade launcher artifact mod that comes around. I think it's been around twice, so it probably won't be back for a little bit. But even without it, this is strong. With that, it makes it kind of crazy. Now it applies volatile, and when you hit something with a grenade, it gains a reload buff. Okay, if you kill 2 or 3 things, so shoot this into a big wall of thrall that's running at you, you're gonna get 6 or 7 kills. This thing automatically refills its mag. You don't have to reload or anything. You've now gotten multi-kills, you've created orbs, you've generated volatile, and if anything in there had its shield broken, now your heavy and primary weapons do increase damage. What you can also do is shoot this into a crowd of enemies, swap to another weapon, and then kill all of the enemies with a different gun. Guess what? This thing still reloads. You don't have to get the kills with Fighting Lion to reload it. I'm telling you, please, if you do not have this, if you have not used this, pull it out of your collections, buy it from Zur. Please, please use it. It is so fun, so good. And lastly, it's literally the meta for the last 6 months, the Queenbreaker. Phenomenal gun, very, very strong. Catalyst can be farmed very easily. Look up a tutorial, it takes you all of 5 minutes if you're doing it efficiently. It's fantastic. This gun, quite frankly, is teetering on game breaking currently and has been for the last hot minute. And probably even after the season is over, will still continue to have a very strong place in the meta. Please get Queenbreaker if you do not have it. For our legendary weapons this week, we have the No Reprieve, a slug shotgun from the Season of Plunder. This whole line of weapons, for the most part, kind of falls into that category of I really want it to be good, but it's not crazy. I'm trying to recall what the rolls this thing could get were. Surrounded is obviously strong. It does have triple tap. It does have outlaw surplus, stats for all. It does have a headstone, but I don't believe most people are going to be using this for ad clear. That being said, stats for all headstone would be a very nice roll. Outlaw headstone, obviously. It does get swashbuckler, but I think if you're looking for a damage dealing shotgun, surrounded is probably going to be your best bet. And if you're not in a scenario where you are surrounded, focus fury with triple tap will not break the bank for damage, but if you need a good top slot slug and you don't have one, this one's easy to get. This roll specifically, I would probably pass on, but it is craftable, so pick up a few copies, use your resonance, and get it crafted. Blood Feud from the same exact season, actually a pretty solid roll. Airhead, Flared Mag, Range Masterwork, Vicious Assassin. Focus Fury is not the greatest for PvP, PvE, SMG, but what else can it roll? Once again, these are craftable weapons. I would say that the best roll for PvE probably is Ambitious Assassin and Headstone. If you don't want the subclass synergy, there's always Frenzy. That being said, it's a slower rate of fire SMG. Focus Fury is not going to be too hard to proc, and it's not bad. I think it's kind of slept on. There's definitely better damage perks, but Focus Fury is still okay in my opinion. If you don't have a good stasis top slot SMG at all and you want one, picking up this exact roll will not hurt at all. That being said, it is craftable. If you don't have it done yet, you can use your harmonizers on it and get that crafted. Up next, we have the 7th Seraph Sidearm with Hipfire Grip and Dragonfly. Another one of those cases where this is a half good PvP roll, half good PvE roll. I believe the best roll that this can come with is Demo Dragonfly. I believe that's the roll that I had saved until just recently when we got a few better Void sidearms in the game. Demo Firefly is real good. Demo Surrounded, obviously. And Demo Vorpal, maybe. And for PvP, it does come with Threat Detectors and Moment, Snapshot, Elemental Capacitor, etc., etc. I would personally pass on this one, even though this sidearm is a very fun one to use. The roll is just not it this week. Next, we have the Eremite from Season of the Witch. I saw somebody talk about this earlier, how Heal Clip and Reservoir Burst kind of has some synergy, and that's very true. It's going to be easy to get multi-kills, especially on level content with Reservoir Burst, and very easy to get kills in higher level content with Reservoir Burst active. And if you're not going to overflow your magazine, then having it refill as fast as you can, as much as you can, is going to be the next best thing. So for this, if you can, I would say you go liquid coils to reduce your mag size, and then maybe small bore for stability and handling to be a little bit better. And maybe if you, I don't know, I think you have to craft this, and I don't think that you can enhance a craftable weapon. I think you just have to craft it. But if you manage to get it crafted and you do want to use this roll, I'd then say the tactical mod. But that being said, this can be crafted. I think this is an interesting roll. I think it's very quirky. I never thought to use those two together, but it definitely would work. It would keep you healed all the time, have a bunch of subclass synergy, and keep you topping yourself off all the time for that Reservoir Burst explosion. Next, we have the Canis Major. This was another group of weapons. I've talked about it before this season. Season of the... Oh god, what was it? Forget. I know the symbol. Good lord. What is the name of that season? Season of the Lost. Jesus, that was almost 10 seasons ago. Overall, this roll is nothing crazy. Kill clip on a heavy weapon is never really worth it, outside of maybe LMGs or something along those lines. Impulse is good, but it can roll Clown Cartridge. That being said, its damage perk pool is not super great. It can roll Clown Cartridge and Chain Reaction, which is a decent roll for ad clear. It can also get Rampage, Kill Clip, and Vorpal Weapon as its damage increases. But sadly, there is no spikes. You do have Augmented Drum, which is going to be the next best thing, but overall I would pass on this one personally. Next, we have the Just In Case Sword with Jagged Edge. No Sword Master Guard, but Heavy Guard is okay. And then we've got Flash Counter and Incandescent. Flash Counter is super strong on Titans this season with Strongholds. If you enjoy running that build, definitely grab this. I will say that I do not know if Incandescent can proc from the Flash Counter. If the Strand Swords can proc Unraveling Rounds and spawn Threadlings and things like that, and you can get all these other procs from other perks, I would think that maybe incandescent would proc as well. And if that is the case, that'd be super fun. It would also cause explosions on top of your blind. I believe that this one was craftable. Am I silly? I feel like this one was craftable. Don't quote me on that. That being said, aside from this roll, you do have Relentless Blade, Tireless Blade, Flash Counter in the left column, and right column you have Whirlwind, Thresh, Collective Action, and Incandescent. So there might be some better rolls out there to chase. This one, oh no, this was not the craftable one. The taken version of this sword is the craftable one. This one is just what it is. That being said, I think this is interesting enough that it might be worth a pick if you don't have a decent sword with Flash Counter. Last but not least, we have Eternity's Edge with Relentless Strikes and Counterattack. The counterattack makes me just outright say, probably not worth a pickup. It does have, no, it doesn't have Jagged Edge. It has Honed Edge, which is okay. But it does have Relentless Strikes, which is not bad. It's just counterattack. Overall, I'd say this is maybe like a 3.5 out of 5 on the God Roll scale. It is not the craftable version, so do keep that in mind. Up next, for our legendary armor for our Warlock this week, we have a pair of arms with a base stat of 65. Your spikes are mobility and discipline, with smaller spikes in recov and intellect. Almost really good, but that mobility kind of hurts it. Up next we have the chest piece with a base of 62, 18 mobility and 15 strength. Again, a few okay spikes, but the mobility kind of hurts it. Up next we have a helmet with a base stat of 66. We've got 15 resilience, 12 intellect, and 16 strength. That might be worth a pickup if you're going for an ability slash super build for PvE and you want a decent amount of resilience to stay alive. Honestly, that might also work for a PvP build if you're on a Warlock. 100 resilience, 100 intellect, 100 strength, especially on the prismatic Warlock melee build that's been going around for a hot minute. That might not be too bad for your collection. Lastly, we have a pair of 64 base stat boots. We got 21 recov, 10 discipline, 15 intellect, and 10 resilience. All of your spikes are in all of your best stats for Warlock, and overall those boots are just really, really nice. I would definitely recommend grabbing a pair of those. With that all being said, let's check out what our Hunter and Titan bring us for this week. For the Hunter, we have the Quick Fang sword with Relentless Strikes. I almost said Rapid Hit. We got Relentless Strikes and Flash Counter. We do have Jagged Edge. That is actually a really, really, really good choice this season for your Titans. Rapid Hit for returning ammo and Flash Counter. That's really, really solid, actually. I'd say for specifically Titans on Stronghold, that's a 5 out of 5 perfect roll on that sword. For the armor, we have a pair of arms with a base stat of 64, 10 resilience, 14 recov, 14 discipline, and 17 strength. Really solid for an ability spam build, I would say. Get a 65 chest piece, 11 mobility, 20 recov, and 20 strength. Got a 63 base stat helmet, 10 mobility, 20 resilience, 23 intellect, and 6 strength. And last but not least, we have a pair of legs base stat 65, 10 mobility, 16 resilience, 17 discipline, and 10 intellect. Man, that entire set of armor is solid. If you don't have, if maybe you're a new player, maybe you're a returning player, maybe you just have been really unlucky and don't have good statted armor, that full set of armor across the board on your Hunter will definitely put in some work and give you some good stats to work with. Up next for our Titans this week, we have Titan Gauntlets with a base stat of 66. You have 12 mobility, but we have 15 recov, 21 discipline, and 10 intellect. For your chest piece, oof, we got a base 65, but it's 24 mobility and 15 strength. Maybe a Titan PvP build, but I think most Titans will pass on that. Got a base 65 helmet with 10 mobility, 15 recov, 10 discipline, 21 strength. And lastly, we've got a pair of 64 legs with 25 mobility. We got 6 recap, 10 intellect, and 19 strength. Good God, if you want a mobile titan, this is the week. Lastly, for your crown splitter this week, ladies and gentlemen, we have hit the jackpot. It is 5 out of 5 perfect god roll crown splitter. We've got jagged edge, heavy guard, relentless strikes, surrounded, and a impact masterwork. That is quite literally the most perfect moment to moment general gameplay sword for the Titan class that you can possibly get. With all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is going to wrap up our Xur review video this week. Xur really brought some heat this time. It might not look like it to some people or on surface level. The Warlock armor was kind of poopy. The exotics weren't super fantastic, but the random rolled stuff was really, really good. The legendary armor was super rare. The stats on the Titan and Hunter were both pretty phenomenal. You got 3 or 4 really good god rolled swords, several great weapons, more weapons that you can craft if you have the materials to do so, and some pretty high-end top-tier meta weapons, as well as really strong catalysts, and free farmable class items. Xur genuinely was really, really good this week. I know a lot of people like to just rag on Xur, take him out of the game, he doesn't do anything, just give us the loot at an NP. Like, I don't know. I think Xur is fun, and I think most weeks he's better than people give him credit for. And I think this week is definitely one of those weeks. But with all of that being said, if you enjoyed the video, do be sure to leave a like before you go. If you are new around here or just haven't done so yet, please be sure to subscribe. You're watching anyway, you're enjoying the content, you might as well help out, right? And lastly, do check back. I am sure that I will post about it and let everybody know. I am very heavily considering getting back into streaming. Part of me wants to just pick up and start again on my previous account, which has around about 200 followers currently and is already an affiliated account, so I could just pick back up and any traction I get from here on out would just be on top of that. But it's also an old account and I might not have the best odds. I've had it for several years and there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and memories poured into that account, and I don't know if I have the stomach to revisit all of that. But then starting off from zero on a brand new account, while maybe might help me in terms of algorithm, seems very daunting. But I am itching really bad. I created this channel to get the creative itch out, and it's created a bigger itch in the form of missing streaming a lot. On top of that, I've been thinking a lot about creating other socials, things like Twitter and other places to talk about this kind of stuff. And I am still wanting to do other videos aside from just my Xur and Banshee reviews. I'm thinking about maybe doing weapon or perk deep dives, just kind of short 5 to 10 minute videos over the weekends. Life has been crazy lately. I've been sick, my cat has been sick, I picked up a new job, I've had talks of moving and a whole bunch of other stuff. And everything's crazy. I have a video fully recorded, and probably because of the generalized context of it, it probably will melt down to about an hour after I edit it and finalize it. I don't know when I'm gonna get that done. I will try again this week. I wanted to do it last week and a bunch of stuff came up. But I am sitting here yapping again. Huge thank you, as always. Huge I love you, as always. And I hope you all are enjoying your week. I hope you're enjoying Iron Banner and Rides to the Nine. And I hope to see you guys back here again next time. Have a good night and a good week and a good weekend. And I will see you Guardians in game.